Hello guys, welcome back to Do We Know Them? AKA, we're reacting to yet another Def Noodles video. We should just name the podcast Def Noodles React.
Honestly, it feels, well, first of all, hi, I'm Lily Marston. This is Jessi Smiles.
I'm Jessi Smiles. Hi. Guys, listen, I know a lot of you are tired of this topic, but it's the same thing I told my husband. He told me maybe we should give it, some time. We've put out a lot of Def Noodles videos, and that's honestly pretty valid. Except, guys, this is an internet show, and this is what's happening on the internet.
We're trying to be topical. That was the whole point. And if we don't talk about this, I feel like it would be a disservice.
I have to say right now, if it was just Def Noodles getting back up on stage, bombing per usual, we would not do this video because it's like, okay, there's only so many times we can say he's not funny, but that's not what this video is going to be.
This is what happens is we keep going in the same cycle of every other episode where it's like he does something that absolutely warrants a full video and it's totally understandable that we're talking about it. And then maybe he does some stuff that isn't necessarily we need to discuss this, but it is just so cringy and it's like, we need to discuss this. And then we get to the point of feeling almost bad because we're like, are we just being mean? And then he goes back to the first one and he does something really deserving of some criticism.
Yeah, it's honestly an exhausting cycle. And when we get ready to post a video, so when you're watching this, we haven't even posted our episode that you saw before this, which mentions Def Noodles and the whole Kavos thing. And we haven't even posted that. And here we are again, because now we have to make a whole video because he did the fucking roast reacts. But hear me out. What do you guys think about this? Okay, we're just spitballing here. We were thinking of maybe doing a live stream this Friday of the third Def Noodles roast. So it doesn't have to be a whole video. It doesn't have to be edited or anything like that. But some people were like, hey, it would be awesome if you guys did that. And I kind of think so too. Are we equipped for that type of thing? Hi, as you can see, we are dressed in different outfits. We are filming on a different day because the ghost of Dennis haunted us and we had technical difficulties and now we have to refilm a lot of this fucking video. But hi, we're here. I just want to say really quick, we actually cannot live stream this Friday because update, Dennis has rescheduled the roast for September 16th, I think it is. So let us know if you want us to live stream.
Schedule.
Yeah, he has no regard for our time. But anyway, carry on.
Here's the thing. First of all, yes, I'm all about it because I thought that our text conversation alone was the most entertaining
part of
hour and a half I've had this week.
Yeah, same.
But I can't pre-edit us into the same room. We're not on that level of technology.
Right.
So it won't look as nice, but we could do it.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if Def Noodles can figure it out, I feel like we probably could.
Let us know if that's something you guys want. But anyway, here we are, guys. We gather here today. We were in a group chat for the Def Noodles roast with Olivia from H3. What is our life? Can I get a round of applause?
The three best friends that... Anyway.
Guys, that gave me so much life. Anyway, we called it the Def Noodles support group because that's what I feel like this is at this point. It's just us just supporting each other through the cringe, through all of this madness.
Yeah, and not to mention, it's because all of us did at one point. Maybe we didn't watch him for his comedy, but we all did watch him in a not negative way.
If you would have told me I was gonna be here a year ago, I would have been like, no, I would never dislike Def Noodles that much. I would never.
That's what's so funny about the launch of our show, because the first episode was when I had the realization, I think, that I wasn't really a fan. It wasn't even that I wasn't a fan. It was that I started to notice some red flags, you might say. Since then, all of these red flags have not only been waved, but set on fire.
Whatever you think it is, if you haven't seen the roast, it's worse than that. So let's just get into it.
Yeah, you might be like, oh, you already reacted to the last one. What possibly could happen this time? So much?
I don't even know how to start it off because there's befores, there's afters, there's lore, there's things we need to explain.
That's the thing. There's so much nuance to this story. But I would say in general that the last one was really based around just it wasn't funny and it was cringy. Right. This one goes more into the territory of alarming and dangerous and basically checking all the boxes that I had addressed when he first mentioned that he had a comedy club, which is not a real comedy club. It's his office.
Oh my God, breaking. I know where I want to start. And it's not with the roast. We have to announce the breaking news that Tiana has quit the Def Noodles Corporation business.
Not only has she quit, but then she went public in exposing
She is spilling the beans.
A crazy quote. Just play the clip.
Yeah, I quit my job because I'll make a story time about it, but My boss is like kind of like crazy, and it was just not a good work environment.
This is giving me life. I know I've been hating on my girl Tiana for being mad awkward on camera, but honestly, I'm a fan.
I feel like we were less hating on her and more just hating on the skit.
Yeah, it wasn't
itself, which
hating on her.
I don't feel like she was responsible for. We were kind of like, girl, get out while you can.
She obviously did not want to be there, and it was so obvious, and that's what was so uncomfortable. Like, it got worse. So like in the Burning Man clip, he would ask her questions, and at that point she was giving him like one word answers. Like, she wasn't engaging at all. Like during the Ace Fest, she was trying to engage.
But did you watch? He's gone to so many things now. Collecticon, whatever the Ninja Turtles thing
Collecticon,
was that he went to. That was when I first noticed that she was being real short with her off-camera banter that he was trying to get from her, and just seemed kind of annoyed. And he seemed like he was kind of like, Tiana, why aren't you saying anything? Then, not to say that we're psychic again, but literally look at these text messages from whenever, a week ago, whenever that Burning Man video went up. You guys, when I watched this video, I don't know how long the video was, probably 20 minutes. The first 5, I think, are him explaining that they're literally driving in the middle of the desert where the GPS is going in and out. They're not on a road. You don't go to Burning Man without knowing what the fuck Burning Man is. He put in like Black Rock Desert and started driving. Like, he didn't do any research. They didn't even have a tent or anything to sleep in. He said they slept in the car. You and your female employee that looks like she's in her mid-20s slept in your car, and you're her boss?
Imagine you go through all of that with your boss, and then like the content you produce and that comes out of it is that fucking video. It's like, what the fuck am I even doing here? So Tiana said, forget it, I am out. And then I don't know where she posted that live, but it was posted on Twitter, and she's ready to speak out. So Tiana girl, I'm here when your story time launches. We'll cover it.
And I feel like he's even made jokes about people saying that his lack of professionalism is a problem. And he's like, what do you mean professionalism? It's the internet, blah, blah. For someone that goes off about his 5 businesses, which I'm really curious what the 5 break down into, by the way. I have never seen someone just ignoring all laws and rules.
Well, the thing is, he wants to be a businessman, but he doesn't want to adhere to the way that business is done. And you can be a cool boss, you can be all this and that, but when you have employees, like, you need to behave in a certain way. And this video, we're gonna get into the roast now because we'll be here for 85 years. But when you see what happens in this roast, or whatever the fuck we're gonna call this at this point, you're gonna see that, like, this is not a businessman. This is a man who has zero control over the things that are happening, and he is putting every single person he encounters at this point in danger. And I'm glad Tiana got out. Like, all jokes aside, I'm really glad that she left, and I think more people are going to. And eventually he'll end up like super alone and be like, oopsie.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in legal trouble. Like, I don't think...
100%. It's such a weird road to the actual night of the show. I would say it started from all the way back to when he would post on Twitter that he wanted people to pull up or shut up. Do you guys remember that? We played the
goal of this roast.
Yeah, that's literally, he said, if you hate me on the internet, all you people talking shit, pull up or shut the fuck up. So that premise already toxic as fuck, obviously inviting people that are weird to come. And we've already talked about the dangers of that. So then we fast forward to meet this individual named Salvo Pancakes. And holy shit, you guys. I've seen so many people covering this situation with Salvo, and I don't think people know who this guy is.
I don't really know who this guy is.
I didn't know who he was before this, but it takes very little research to understand that this guy, I'm like scared to even say it, like, he's like out of his fucking mind. Like, he's not well.
Well, even just seeing his live stream of the roast and like how into it he was, it was weird. Like, yeah, we've made videos talking about it, but we don't like actually feel that. Like, he seemed genuinely passionate about
what made you feel like he was passionate?
Def Noodles.
Lily, was it when he burned the Brazilian flag and said that he was gonna save the Brazilian people and send Dennis back to like the hut that he lived in? Like,
you know, I actually missed that clip.
Really looking forward to Friday night, where we can mano-y-mano, own each other with wit, cleverness, charismatic, and comedy. I'm going to make it my Friday night's mission and the rest of my life's mission to burn your brain from the inside out until you're on the ground screaming in peril, till you wake up every morning screaming because you're burning from the inside. That's what I want to do to you. But not only to you, to your people down in Brazil. I'm going to liberate them. Brazilians need liberated. I'm going to liberate them. I'm going to burn them like I'm going to burn you. Salvo Pancakes will be seeing you Friday night, and I'm mean and I'm scary and I'm going to hurt you.
Salvo Pancakes. Oh shit, here we go. And by the way, By the way, Def Noodles, you're a pussy. Let's go. Yo, let's get some fires in the chat.
You see this, Dennis? This is you. This is what you've become. Fuck Brazil and fuck you, Dennis Noodles.
He's like in with the commentary bros. Keemstar loves him, if that tells you everything you need to know. I don't want to instigate anything between me and Salvo because quite frankly, I don't want the guy to know my name. I don't want to be on his radar. He seems like a loose cannon and I want nothing to do with it. But this is like important to the story.
I think generally I don't agree with a lot of what Salvo did. We aren't like, yeah, Team Salvo, go get him.
A lot of people are.
But I think a lot of people are because they are only seeing snippets of it and they just hate Dennis so much now that it's like, yeah, anyone that wants to go after him, please. We're going to be more looking at it though through the lens of just like how Dennis gives the worst possible reaction to having someone like this, which we predicted originally when he announced this.
The thing is that it's not just a one or the other story. There is like so much here that you need to know everything for this to make sense, because the people that are just looking at it as like, oh my God, Dennis is such an asshole. Sure, Dennis is such an asshole. But what he's doing and how Salvo made it into that club is all part of the equation of this is really dangerous and what the fuck is he doing and where does he plan to go from here, because someone's gonna get hurt.
This is the perfect example of manifesting of what we were talking about when we first heard that he was doing these roast battles.
Yeah. So this Salvo guy is a loose cannon, like I said. If you click on Salvo's page, it takes about 2.5 seconds and like 1 milliliter of intuition to understand, like, never want to be around this guy. My point is that Dennis knew that this guy was crazy.
I mean, at least if he did any research at all, he would have been able to find out he was crazy.
Yeah.
But he probably didn't because it's Dennis and he doesn't really do anything.
I don't know which one is more concerning, him not doing the research or him having known who he was inviting. But the point is that he invited this Salvo Pancakes guy, a guy who Dennis has said has made a ton of videos about Dennis and has been obsessing over Dennis. So I think Dennis did know like this guy's crazy. But he said, you know what? If you want to fly to LA from Ohio, I think it is, sure. Come on to my legendary stage. And then like 2 days before the roast even happened, this guy shows up to Los Angeles. He paid his own way and he got there and he rode a bird scooter to the front of Dennis's office and basically was like demanding like a tour of the office and being super weird.
Here's the thing. Let's play the clip.
So this is him right here. You can see he's coming up on a scooter.
Alright, I'm outside Def Noodles' place. I was invited. Hi, Def. It's common courtesy to give your guests a tour. Can I have a tour of the club that I'll be performing at tomorrow? I'm performing tomorrow, Def. I want the tour. You're being rude to your guests. I went very far to come here. Can I have the tour, Def Noodles? Dennis Matozo. I came traveling long journeys for the tour of your office that I'll be performing at. I was invited here.
Not defending him doing this because this is weird. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's pretty clear to me he wasn't really intending on going inside. He was doing it just so he could get this video of him being there trying to quote unquote get inside. The minute he stops talking, he barely even has stopped recording the video before he is back on that bird scooter to go back to his Airbnb.
That's a good point. Yeah, he obviously just wanted the content out of it. I think it's still weird that he showed up, but I actually think it was weird on Dennis's part to make it a whole big thing.
The strangest reaction I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he started saying, you know, my life has been threatened. He posted videos about it, podcasts about it. And when I was watching these videos, I was like, damn, that is weird for someone to like show up. Until I heard Dennis say that he was still gonna allow this guy to be a part of the comedy show. Mind you, he's talking about how crazy this guy is.
How he has to hire extra security.
Yeah, like, and I was like, oh yeah, hire extra security to not let him in. He's like, no, we're letting him in. We're letting him be a part of the show. I'm like, what?
I have to assume he just feels like this weird sense of invincibility where nothing bad is gonna happen. Because again, this was my concern from day one. I was like, you're listing your address where you work every day publicly online and you think that that's not going to be a problem?
It becomes clear later on, and I swear we're going to get into the show soon, but it becomes clear later on that Dennis understands that the trolls, quote unquote, are like 90% of the reason his roasts are even being talked about, even remotely, quote unquote, successful. Like that is what's bringing him the business. So he knows that if he wouldn't have allowed this Salvo guy in, there would have been like 3 people at the show. And we find that out very soon. So what ended up happening is that Salvo Salvo got like the majority of the tickets. I would say like 20 or 30 out of the 50 tickets sold, he got them for himself. So that means that the majority of the crowd were people on Salvo's side, which made for a disaster.
And just the most uncomfortable encounters I've ever seen, because also, because Dennis has no control over the show whatsoever and like doesn't know what's going on because he's never put on an event before, it's very obvious. There's no like filter between the audience and the stage. And I feel like his friends, the comedians that he has on his roster, were so confused as to why the crowd was being so weird, but it was because Salvo had planted them all.
Let's just get into the show because you guys just have to see it for yourself.
And we'll talk about it all as we go.
Yeah. The first 9 minutes were this. And I'm sorry to the people just listening. I don't know quite how to describe this. Lily, how would you depict this? This looks like, you know that AI thing on TikTok that you can like put in a statement and it'll like bring up a random picture that kind of depicts that like right away, but it's like always a really shitty version of what you were thinking in your head?
You know, I don't, but that's a much more recent example than what I was gonna go with, which was, it looks like an old like Nickelodeon show from the 90s. It feels like something that was like a skit on All That or something.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this was all you saw with no music for the first 10 minutes and pure silence.
But Jessi in our text conversation acknowledged early on that he is terrible at marketing his events, because he had told us a few times in all of the videos leading up where he was trying to sell tickets that this second roast would be starting promptly at 8 p.m. Well, as Jessi said, this played for 9 minutes, but I don't even think that started.
It did not.
Until like 8:15. So before this started, we had to get our information from Salvo's live stream because he was live streaming, which I will say, he might be crazy, but at least he had some production quality because he was able to live stream very high quality from his limo that he drove there, where he also had his security guard.
Again, we had no idea where to even tune into. It was a disaster, okay? But the show finally...
We're clicking between all the live streams.
Yeah, it was like, is this on Twitch? Is this on YouTube? I don't even know anymore. But all of a sudden, the stream is up. Granted, dead quiet, and all you're staring at is this graphic, but the stream is up. And so then the show finally begins. So the first thing it opens up to, still in dead silence, is this new audience shot. We did say in the first one, in the first video we did on the roast, that we really wish they had more shots, like maybe a shot of the audience, maybe a shot of this or that.
Which he claimed he originally had planned for, that he had 3 cameras, but after just some unforeseen technical difficulties, aka lack of prep, only one of them worked. And this time we did get more angles, but
so what we can see here with our eyes, for our listeners, is a fire hazard. So this is...
Yes, that is literally a textbook definition, despite there is a fire extinguisher on the wall.
Just imagine a fire breaking out in this room and you're the girl in the front with the black tank top. What are you gonna do?
And bless her heart, I think she's one of the only actual Def Noodles fans.
And also you see later on that the air conditioning, if they have any, doesn't seem to be working well.
They don't. He's talked about it in his podcast. They have no air.
Okay, so people get really sweaty really quick.
Also, especially when it's 85 degrees in LA and there's an excessive heat warning. This is a screenshot from my phone as the roast was happening, and I live like 15, 20 minutes away.
It must have smelled in that room. That's all I'll say. But okay, then it begins.
LA, are you ready? LA, are you ready? You can go.
Oh my
God. Are you ready?
This is just the very beginning of a very, very uncomfortable energy. If I had been in this room, I would have vomited projectile style. I think this is when Dennis started realizing like, oh shit, what is going on? Because last time, no matter how unfunny things got, nobody booed.
That's true. That's true. And now he's not, we can't say for sure because we only have this one camera angle right now, but I don't believe he's on stage. I believe this audio is coming from him.
He's not on stage. Once it cuts to the stage, you'll see he's still not on stage. But before this, due to Salvo's live stream, you saw that the entire time that they had been waiting, people started growing like really restless, and Salvo kept going on the stage and getting people to yell fuck Def Noodles. And so that was like the preparation of all this. That was the buildup. Dennis was backstage hearing people say fuck Def Noodles, knowing that Salvo was like causing a ruckus, and he's still not on stage now, but he's about to come on stage. And I need you guys to keep your eyes peeled because what's about to go down is really bad.
Hey, Corey, I don't think people are ready for us right now, bro. Hello, white people. Hello, white people. Are y'all out there? Hello, white people. Are y'all out there?
Can we get a response? Can we get at least a hey or a fuck you, Def Noodles, please?
Salvo's like
Look at
directing
Salvo.
his people.
Yeah, he's literally telling them, don't you fucking dare respond. So he literally owns the place. Like he has...
This is the thing. It's like, he might be insane. At least he can get shit done. Dennis literally is just the most incapable person I've ever seen. And then Salvo's like, and like people are just like in position. Miranda.
Oh, did you guys hear Miranda? She's there. Don't worry,
Also,
she's
wait,
coming.
This is unimportant, but I can't handle how Def is so incapable of like doing anything on his own and leading the crowd in any way that he always has to defer to one of his friends to be like, Steven, I don't think they're ready for this, because he, God forbid, can't do it alone for his own comedy club. So this time it's like, Corey, come here. Why are you like interviewing people in the green room that we can't even see? Literally, Corey doesn't seem like he knows what's going on because he takes a few seconds to even respond.
All right, bro. I guess this crowd, it's a tough crowd, Miranda. Come here. What do you think about this shit?
Are they watching the live stream? Did they? What do you mean of this shit? The people are sitting waiting for you to go on stage. Why are you still backstage talking?
I want to get the show started. It's not going to get started unless people make some fucking...
Let's just take note. People are drinking.
Salvo had, during his live stream, we even got a little view, and I believe he even asked the guy working, because there's a little bar set up in the back, and there was a guy working, and I feel like Salvo was like, do you have a liquor license?
Please! I want to get the show started. It's not going to get started unless people make some fucking noise.
Get fucking lit!
Get lit? Is this 2012?
Fuck Def Noodles! Fuck Def Noodles! Fuck Def Noodles! Fuck Def Noodles!
I love also Salvo's just like aggressively vaping.
Then we start to get to one of the most interesting aspects of the show, which is the audio begins to cut out, and you have to tap into your inner
guys, we are
Charlie
watching
Chaplin,
a silent
because
movie.
half of this stream, literally half of the stream is a silent movie.
All right. Okay. I guess they're ready. I guess they're fucking ready.
Just cuts out. So we're watching this, right? This is all you can see. It's completely silent on the stream. Me and Lily are texting each other. Is it silent on your end? Are my AirPods broken? What's going on? We were
I was
very
happy
confused.
we got another camera angle. I was like, ooh, multifaceted. We're getting a few angles this time, but no audio.
But later on, I caught that this was all on purpose. Every time the audio cut out, it was intentional.
All right. So can we just cut the music? Cut the music. Yeah. Bring back the audio. You brought it back? Great.
So right there, Def lets us know that he's turning the audio on and off for the stream, which is super fucking weird. Because I was like, man, these technical difficulties are out of control today.
They were purposeful. And he basically, when things started going a little questionable or like he didn't really know what was about to happen, he muted the stream so only the people there would be subjected to the chaos.
And I don't know who was doing the muting, but it wasn't him because he was on stage. And therefore, he assigned the muting to someone else, and they were using that button a little too often.
I do have to applaud him. At least he got some help this time.
So guys, I don't know how to say this, but mama, I made it. You guys, I've been having some tough times saying, Dennis, why don't you put me in your roast battle on the projector when you're shouting out all these drama channels talking about you? But guys, alas, the day is here.
So because there was no audio, I wasn't fully invested watching, but all of a sudden I kind of like, I think we were texting and I glanced up at my TV and I was like, oh, holy shit. And I rewound really fast. And I'm like, oh my God, confirmed. That was absolutely her. And what I love
I could not believe
that it zoomed in. So I'm not in it. It's just you, which is the best. Because
No, you're in it in the beginning.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, it's like you and then it zooms into me.
Oh, I thought I wasn't in it at all. But I was going to say, how hilariously ironic that I've been the one really like leading the, oh, not a Def Noodles fan. And then you're the one that gets like.
Guys, I will give a $20 bounty to anyone that could find the clip of me with audio. I need to know what clip they used of me. But anyway, here it is.
I bet you it's from the video that Steven commented on.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. You see, you can see yourself.
Oh, what am I wearing?
And then it zooms into me. Anyway, we can't spend too much time on this. But guys, as you can see, I have made it. I'm so excited. Thank you for the applause.
Please let me just chime in with my biggest issue of the night, which is so insignificant comparatively speaking to all of the danger dangerous things were happening, but it just bugs the shit out of me because it's so indicative of Dennis as a person. The only time they used this fucking projector, which was an issue in the last roast as well. You might remember that there was some technical problems there. The only time they even use it in this one is just to play that video, which I'll remind you, no one at home could even hear. So he had this just grand hype video that was gonna play, Jessi spewing her shit. And I'll remind you that if you noticed while watching that, he couldn't even be bothered to make the video full screen. So not only are we watching it with no audio, we are watching it in like the media player, which we can still, like last time, see the dock of his computer. It's not even centered on the actual projector screen. Then the projector screen, once this grand video is done, starts rolling up. Guess what does not disappear for the entire fucking show? The computer screen.
Literally the entire fucking show. How did not a singular person realize?
The whole time.
Like, hey, I could see your desktop.
Just turn it off.
But anyway.
Sorry.
Then, no, very valid. Thank you for bringing it up. So then you see Salvo, again, this is mute, but Salvo gets up on the stage, starts basically being like, look what time it is. Def Noodles still hasn't gotten on stage. He's pissed. He's riling people up, trying to get them to film again for his YouTube channel. Here comes Def Noodles.
Okay.
Boom. He fucking pushes him off stage. Def Noodles pushes Salvo off stage without saying a word. Salvo didn't even know that he was coming up behind him. What?
I honestly have to say right now, I didn't know that this happened in the beginning. I missed this.
Same.
So I think we would have talked about it on our text if we had.
No, we saw people fighting, but I didn't know what was happening.
I didn't really know who started it. I thought that Salvo had even instigated it, but we saw the clip after from the audience perspective. Here it is.
Red bar, 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 red bar.
And after seeing that, I thought it happened like at the end. Finding out that it happened before this is the first time these two men have ever been face to face. And you know what? They're not face to face because Dennis goes up behind him and shoves him. Dennis, where are your extra security people that you hired? Why are you going out and literally assaulting this man that you invited to come and roast?
Well, he justifies it and he says, you know, he's been very disruptive. He's been this, he's been that. To that I say, you knew that. You invited him. You want him here. And after the fact, we'll get into that, but just a little spoiler alert, he wants more situations like this. He is still telling people pull up or shut up. So you cannot stand here and be like, well, he was being disruptive. That warrants me assaulting him. It absolutely does not. I don't care how annoying he is, how crazy he is, whatever you want to say. I'm not even saying he doesn't deserve to get pushed. I think he's completely off his fucking rocker. But oh my God, you cannot just go up behind someone and push them when they didn't even see you coming. He wasn't even going towards you. Like, what?
He was literally having the crowd chant something. He wasn't even actually like saying anything to Dennis. Not to mention Dennis, who is so concerned about the safety of his patrons that have spent their money to come be here. You literally just shoved a fully grown man into your audience that is an overpacked room. And then even later, I think today, we're filming this on Sunday, he tweeted something about Salvo trying to incite a riot. Okay. The closest anyone came to inciting a riot would be shoving someone and starting a fight in a room where there's far too many people.
I genuinely would love to know, because he's explained his reasoning and thinking, you know, that this was justified, which is insane on its own. But I want to know what he actually thought was going to happen. Because either this guy's just going to start beating you up back. I'm surprised. You'll see what happens, but like, that's not what happens.
But that can't happen because he hides behind his friends after he pushes them.
Yeah. Let's keep playing. But yeah, this is ridiculous. So my favorite part is there's still no fucking audio. It's just chaos. It's Salvo.
This is where I really was like, oh my God, a silent movie. Cool.
So Dennis is just screaming and acting like a fucking tough guy while also hiding behind Corey and the millions of people in between them. Salvo's obviously pissed. He just got shoved. He didn't even know it was fucking coming. This is the start of the show and there's no audio.
Did you expect the people coming to your roast to roast you? These haters that are like trolling you, quote unquote, online line. Did you expect them to come and be like, oh my God, hi Dennis, thanks for having me at your comedy club?
Yeah, either you want this negativity there or you don't. You either want this type of energy there or you don't. This is the start. Jesus Christ. This is the start of people poking their head through that goddamn window.
I love it.
You guys, the entire show, people in the green room, quote unquote, Dennis's like desk in the fucking back, are poking their head through this black curtain window, trying to see what's happening on stage. And now they literally like have no regard for the fact that this is supposed to be a show. They're just poking their head as if nobody could see them. I can see you.
This is the biggest shit show I've ever seen.
Literally.
I never understood the purpose of the window, but now I see a really big problem with it because apparently you don't even have control over your guests.
It is wide fucking open.
Like, sir, do you think we can't see you?
Okay, so we get into the actual roast because the majority of this is not a roast. The majority of the show is people screaming into the void.
Sounds correct, yes.
But there was like, I think 1 or 2 actual roasts that lasted like 3 minutes each. I mean, it was the same as the last roast where it's like, they were just saying things. Like, it wasn't anything as good as Are You From Detroit? But there was some, it was just awkward.
One, Def Noodles. Oh shit, this shit's moving way too fast. I can't keep up.
Oh, the chat's moving too fast.
Anyway.
Oh my God, wait. Actually, did you see someone put a clip on Twitter? It's him doing that from like another angle. You can see that the chat's not moving fast.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, we got to start reading out the other people who won Def Noodles. Oh shit, this shit's moving way too fast. I can't keep up. Anyway,
it's slow.
Let's keep it rolling.
It's very slow.
Dennis, like, don't you do a teleprompter? Like, you have to be able to read faster than that. It's not, like, it literally was like 1 new comment every like minute.
So fucking good. Oh my God. So Miranda joins us. Happy to have her. Lily couldn't help but notice she seemed a bit ill.
It wasn't even my like prejudice against Miranda. It was just like, oh my God, is she okay?
My prejudice against Miranda.
Like, it wasn't trying to be mean. It was like genuine concern.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like when you thought maybe she had asthma.
Right. Yeah.
I thought this time maybe like, is she severely hungover or something? I've never seen someone look so pale and like confused to be there.
And it's not like, when people are like, you look tired. It's not like that. Like, she genuinely looks like she might have a fever.
Then again, also, it's probably like 100 degrees in that building and she does have a sweatshirt on. So that could be the culprit.
That's definitely it. So then we move on to a weird ass part of the show. The whole time people were heckling. Okay, that's the entire show. Because it's all Salvo's people, whatever. But there was this one woman in particular that for some reason caught the attention the most, and all of a sudden one of the comedians starts fighting with her on stage.
Yeah, wrong breakfast food. Wrong breakfast food.
What?
I don't know what she said because they're not mic'd properly, the audience.
I can't hear any of them.
You wish you could use the word slim in your nickname, you fat bitch. You better shut the fuck up.
What the
like
hell?
A corpse that we pulled up off the river. What the fuck?
People poking their head.
I can't.
Who's he talking to? So obviously he just starts calling her fat because haha comedy. Then they bring her on stage because isn't this the whole spirit of the roast? Anybody could come up here except Salvo's. Not to be like rude or anything. She's obviously not a performer because like she's just very awkward, her stage presence. And this
the body language is a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those people that is like the trolls online or even in person here in this case. But then like you confront them and they're just like, it's very awkward to watch, which is why you don't just bring up random hecklers. Like any comedy club would kick them out if they were screaming that much that it was disrupting.
Literally, Dennis and his friends say stuff like that in their podcasts afterwards. Like, this would never happen Yeah, because other comedy clubs actually function like comedy clubs and not a fucking dumpster fire.
Where are you from, Abby?
My mom's vagina.
We're not really gonna hear her if you guys keep yelling.
It's like he's in a pre-K class.
My mother's vagina.
Nice.
Hilarious. Good one. Hilarious.
How long?
I'm sensory overload. They're all talking at the same time.
I know. But then now she
you can't understand anything that's happening.
She gets a mic and this is her big moment to do whatever the fuck she wants to do.
What you got, Mom Spaghetti?
Say, what'd you get, Mom Spaghetti?
She said, what you got, Mom Spaghetti? Eminem reference? Question mark?
It doesn't even work.
It doesn't. Though. But since half of the crowd is her people, they're like, yeah,
they
fuck
cheer
yeah.
on, yeah.
It's so weird.
So he's understandably confused.
Yeah, it's like a fever dream. Is she high-fiving people? Are you going to keep staring at me like, do you have problems? She is stuck in 2008. I literally cannot deal with what she just said. What? Do you have I haven't heard that sentence since like
between
first grade.
Her and then his like fat shaming, both of them need to leave.
Immediately.
The creepiest aspect of this is though Dennis watching in the background like
we have to just flash forward to when Steven in the podcast after this tells him like, you shouldn't have even been hosting it. Like you shouldn't have even been there doing that. And
you.
Dennis goes
that is what I've said since day one.
But Dennis is like, no, I have to host it. It's my show.
He's so self-absorbed that he needs to be like the center of attention, even when it's like he shouldn't want to be because he just looks awkward.
Yeah. Well, there's a million things too that like could have made this not so much a disaster. Something as simple as like letting Salvos, I know he's a lunatic, but letting him into the green room, for example, making him feel like you're a part of the show, you go out when it's your time, would have avoided so much mess because he wouldn't have been able to be in the crowd like starting problems. If Dennis wasn't hosting it or refereeing it or whatever he does at this point, would have saved so much problems. He just doesn't he doesn't do anything with common sense. Everything is hard.
That's the thing is like I'm just confused what Dennis thought was going to happen.
I don't know, but I think he doesn't think farther than just like everyone's here to see me. Like
true.
Whether they love me or hate me, they're here to see me.
See me in my comedy, not just see the dumpster fire erupt.
So she just stays on stage, very awkward encounters, not even worth dwelling on, but then everyone gets shirtless.
So at this point, honestly, about halfway through, it just turns into a fever dream that you can't really pay attention to anymore.
Yes.
But Jessi and I are texting, and we, I guess, got distracted by something. We're not really paying attention, and both of us look up to our respective screens and are like texting, why are there shirtless men on the stage? Literally, it went from dumpster fire to like Walmart version of Magic Mike.
Dennis is looking backstage, of course, through the window to call more people on stage. I mean, just literally, why? He looks backstage to get people and says, oh, he took off his shirt. And one of the comedians comes out and had just taken off his shirt with no context. I mean, it was hot. That's I guess enough context.
Wait, do you see the one in the middle thinking about taking his shirt off? He makes like this motion a few times, but he's like, maybe not.
Then they start, I guess this is a tournament. Nobody really knows how this thing works, okay? But I guess it's a tournament. So now they're all just standing in a huddle trying to decide like who's on what team, which doesn't even end up coming into fruition. It's just a hot fucking mess.
See that last knob over there? Turn that,
Oh my
Turn
God.
it up.
Turn the knob
to the right. Will you just...
Dennis, did you know that if you just put the mic down, you could still say, can you turn the knob up to this person? Like he has to scream it.
It makes me so mad.
Let's do the following. All right.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm in.
Okay, split.
4 seconds of eye contact with
this
me.
side. Elliot, team battles. Okay, Miranda.
Team battle.
It is like a pre-K recess.
Literally, he has to repeat the people's names like 8 times to get their attention.
Elliot, take it off. You have a better body.
Shirts versus skins. You guys want to see shirts versus skins?
I
Take it off.
would be screaming at these people if I were Dennis. Screaming at them.
So he gets shirtless. Salvos is like playing into it.
This is hot. Oh my God.
Then Salvos gets his fucking nipples. Like that was so uncomfortable for me to watch. It's like, why? Oh, dude, why?
Just weird and unnecessary.
Yeah, super. So everybody's naked. Basically, this is a summary.
Everyone's naked and screaming.
It's just nothing. It's a nothing burger. Everybody's just standing around. Nobody can focus. Then they start doing a one-on-one roast again. It's just literally like, what is going on?
None of it makes any sense. And literally, it's all of them just talking at this. It's like, you know, when you have other tabs playing,
Oh
that's
my
what
God,
this
yeah.
whole show
And you can't
feels
find out
like.
where it's coming from.
Exactly.
You're like,
It's like you literally have 5 different tabs and you have no idea where any of them are coming from and it won't stop.
They actually end up saying, Steven actually mentions in the podcast after this, but he's like, you know, it made me sad because a lot of the people that came there to enjoy it were like outside, like they couldn't actually handle it.
Because that was one of the things that me and Dennis talked about. It's like, I hated to see fans outside the show not being able to enjoy the show for what it was. And I agree with them. Like, I see why that, because if someone's yelling and being disrespectful from the top of the show all the way to the bottom of the show, it makes it a hard.
No structure. It was a disaster. But
We already said that if we had gone, I would have left after 5 minutes. Like, I would have not been able to handle being there.
1,000%. If we just skip towards the end, a bunch of confrontation happens where like Def Noodles' friends start confronting the crowd and being like, it's so weird that you guys came here just to hate, and it's all this tension, whatever. Salvo's finally gets up.
When it's like, you invited them.
I know, but whatever. That's when it comes into play, like what you're saying, where it's like, do his friends know what he does and like what he says on the internet?
That's the thing. It's like, I think they know, but they don't know the full extent of it.
And so Salvo's finally makes his way on the stage, and basically he's begging for that mic. He's like, just give me the mic. It's my time. You told me I would have my time to shine, and it's now. And Dennis begins to stall in the weirdest way. Like, I don't even know what this is.
Well, and keep in mind, this guy flew from Ohio, and yeah, he's been weird and passionate, but there's no reason that this should not be happening right now. Like, nothing has led us to believe that, like, the roast isn't happening.
Not Salvo's taking phone calls.
I want to take a moment.
Like, okay. Not people just in the window smoking. Can someone tell Ernesto to watch the live stream on his phone?
He can't because there's no audio.
He's literally just vaping in the window.
Oh my God, it's so hectic.
Oh my God, the in and out of the door and the window.
Nobody has any regard for this show anymore.
Jesus Christ, the window!
Okay.
Who's that? Who is that?
What?
Literally, we've never even seen her.
A new character has entered the chat, and she has come out, and I guess she thinks the security guard is cute, or I'm not sure what's happening, but she's saying, come backstage with us.
He's not bad looking.
But she's saying, come backstage with us. What?
Okay. So, yeah. So I just want to take a moment. I really want to get this out.
I cannot. Also, do you see that it's like hotboxed back there?
Wait, I think that's the girl that threw the drink. Because he just looked at her and said, I'm suing you.
Oh, then probably. But I don't know who it is. She's never been on stage.
Well, now she's somehow backstage.
But also, do you see that it's just like a hazy cloud?
Oh, no. Everybody's high as fuck. And let me tell you something. If you smoked back there, everyone in that room smoked. Because that room is 9 by 9 square feet. So just to explain really quick, the two people that you see in the background, I mean, I know you see many people in the background, people popping in and out. But right now, what you see in the background, on the left side, well, the left of Dennis that we're looking at, not stage left, okay, is Dennis's security guard. So Dennis's security guard is to the left. His name is Dave. And on the right is Salvos's security guard. Salvos's? How would I even say that fucking?
I don't know.
But that's his
the
security.
Fact that they're both standing on stage and like just hanging.
And you would think that they're both a part of the same security unit due to the fact that they're both wearing black shirts that have like the same looking logo, but no.
Different private security
completely
firms.
Different. Both being underpaid for whatever they were paid.
Both questioning their life choices.
Stage, folks. So anybody at home, if you want to be on this stage, you could be on this stage as well. It's very obvious that Salvo absolutely loves me. He can't stop making videos about me. He can't stop talking about me. He had all of his fans.
Oh my God. He goes on his podcast afterwards and is like, oh my God, I can't believe he would pay to be on stage to do this. They're just shitting on him as if he's so embarrassing. And I'm like, you asked him
literally
to
asked
do
people
it.
to do that. If it was anyone
literally
else,
wanted
I would have been like, yeah, Dennis, I totally see where you're coming from. The fact that anyone would come to just heckle you and disrupt the show, that's ridiculous. This is what you wanted. You specifically asked for the people that hate you on the internet to come and do this. And they did it. And now you don't like it because it sucks.
But then he literally tells more people to do it. It's like, well, as you can see, this is going so well. Do you want to do it too?
Fast forward a little bit. He starts polling the audience to see if he should give Salvos the mic. The guy who he promised would get his time to just wait there patiently, crazy person who I invited to this venue. Now Salvos is finally on stage. It's his time. And he's polling everyone around him to see if he should give him the mic.
Should Salvo get it? TJ, should Salvo get it? Nah. Ernesto, should Salvo get it?
I think Salvo should put on his own show, and then he can get a mic that way.
What do you think? Hold up. I'm doing
a roast battle.
Let's see your security guard. What do you think? Salvo should get it? You back your man? You back your man?
Let's ask his paid security.
You don't know? Should Salvo get a mic?
Yes.
Yes. Should Salvo get a mic?
Give him the mic.
Are we even keeping tallies?
Is he just waiting to get to someone that has a good enough no?
No,
like,
he later on says that, like, he's like, I was, building it up. And, like, he thinks this was some sort of genius comedic move. We all have things to do, places to be. You're wasting our fucking time.
The tension's been built. Cut the cord.
He wanted it so bad?
Oh, are they about to make out?
Salvo get a mic?
What's going on?
I love you, but yes, also I feel like Salvo pissed himself.
Salvo's what?
Pissed himself.
Oh, you think Salvo? Yeah, it does look like he pissed himself.
It goes in between for me for like being entertaining that it's so stupid and then being like annoyed.
No, it triggers my fight or flight. Like I genuinely want to throw up.
Okay. All right. Why do you think Salvo should get a mic?
Oh, now
because you invited him there to roast you.
Now we're asking for dissertations. Just give him the fucking mic.
What do you mean? Why should Salvo get a mic? Because you told him he would.
They made some good points. Made some good points. I don't know. Should Salvo get a mic? Chat. One, if Salvo should get a mic.
Not him. Only reference. This is the first fucking time he's referenced this chat the whole show. Just to stall further.
One for Salvo getting the mic. Two for Salvo not
Wake
getting
me up
the
when
mic.
they decide.
Let's see. Let's see what the chat says. Let's see. One. We got a few ones, some twos. Got a few ones. Oh, yeah, got a few ones. Got threes. Got twos. What do you think?
Is this real?
Come on. Why do you think you should have the mic? I just want.
They're kicking my people out. My people are being kicked out right now, by the way. And I can't get the fucking mic because Dennis Noodles is YouTube's biggest fucking pussy.
I just wanted to give Salvo a chance to get everything he's got to get out of his chest. So, yeah, feel free. Right ahead.
You can't say go right ahead after you've stalled for 15 minutes trying not to give him the microphone. You can't.
It's unbelievable. Like, I can't believe he's a real person.
So Salvo's finally got the mic. Let's see what he does.
All right, Salvo, do you think?
On three. Fuck Def Noodles.
Oh, come on.
Fuck Def Noodles.
You know, you could have had a stronger start.
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Def Noodles. Fuck Def Noodles. Really? Right when I join in.
Serve my drinks, bitch. Listen, I'm not gonna stand up here like every other hack comedian LARPer that is playing the Joe Rogan experience with the fake Joe Rogan, get on the podcast, act like they're real comedians. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna monologue for about an hour about how fucking pathetic this grown man really is. Dennis Noodles, Dennis Fatozo, is a 40-year-old man. He lied about his age.
No, he's not.
He's a 40-year-old man. He's a 40-year-old man.
Oh my God, he's looking, but Dennis just looked at the camera and it made me die inside.
I had to deal with this the whole show. You're complaining? Now, hold up. You're complaining about a little bit of heckling? I had to deal with this the whole show.
Dennis Noodles is the only person that is able to have everybody on the internet fucking hate him. The gays hate him. The commentary pros hate him. Everybody fucking hates him. But not only that, Dennis Noodles.
What are they even chanting?
Noodles.
Told everybody that he's a last Friday he got on stage and didn't say one fucking joke. He didn't say one fucking joke. And he's gonna stand up here and assault me here.
Oh.
Okay, now they're taking the microphone, the security guard for Dennis.
I don't even know what the trigger was, even watching it back.
Yeah,
But he just starts getting kicked out, and that's that.
It was a very anticlimactic ending.
It was. He literally gets picked up and taken out.
That's so cringe.
And everyone acting like they fucking won. Very anticlimactic. I don't know, even looking back for what, the third time now at this point, I still don't get it. Why did he get kicked out? I mean, sure, I can name a million reasons I would have kicked him out in the beginning.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe it could have happened when you physically attacked him. That even would have made more sense. I just don't understand why you're going to let him sit there the entire show and then have him come on stage. And then as soon as he starts saying anything, then you make him leave. I think it's a pretty unanimous conclusion that no one here won.
I'm going to insert some clips of the show or the podcast or whatever the fuck they filmed after this. But it's clear to me that obviously his friends and the people who had to withstand this show, especially the guy holding the blunt that you just mentioned, are pretty upset with this kind of dynamic. And Steven also mentioned, which Steven is like his number one yes guy and commented on our last roast review. So hi, Steven, if you're watching. But it's pretty clear that like nobody involved wants to be a part of this kind of dynamic. Sure, it gets attention. Sure, it gets people out, but it's not fun for anyone.
But here's the thing that I feel like they're not all like without any blame in this scenario, because they very clearly chose to ignore what was going on, like all the drama, quote unquote, around Def Noodles, and dismiss it all as being just like trolls and haters and people don't want to see him succeed. It's just hilarious to now see them all kind of change their tune, because it seems like they are all starting to get a little annoyed. And it's like, maybe you guys should have done your research and not just signed up for this because you thought it would get you attention because Def Noodles had followers. Maybe you should have looked a little more into what Def Noodles is all about and understood why there's attention around all of these comedy events. It's not for your comedy, guys. Sorry to break it to you, but you're part of something that is not going to be your career starter.
When I saw the podcast or whatever show that they did after, and I saw his friends, you know, expressing that they were uncomfortable. I mean, at the end of the day, they were obviously uncomfortable. It couldn't have been comfortable to be in that room. When I saw them talking to him and kind of, I mean, for what they do or how they normally act standing up to Dennis, because it wasn't actually standing up to Dennis, but it was like trying to. When I saw that, I had an inkling of hope of like, okay, well, maybe he's going to realize like, fuck, the people that are around me are uncomfortable, and everybody was put in a really uncomfortable position. But afterwards, he went on Twitter and started promoting the third roast battles. And he didn't just promote them. He started saying, pull up or shut up, the same fucking rhetoric that got him into this. And not only doing that, but using the screenshot or the screen grab, whatever, the freeze frame of him pushing Salvos.
He, of course, Dennis naturally goes on the next day to, well, they film a podcast the night of. And even then, Dennis is like very on board. They're like, this was a huge success. And I'm like, in what world could you see this as a possible success? That makes no sense.
In Dennis's world.
You've already mentioned a few of the things. It seems like this podcast is kind of the first time that the fellow comedians kind of express that they're a little frustrated.
Yeah. There's one thing to be on a stage and nobody's laughing, or like people are like, it's awkward and, you know, people kind of bomb. And it's another thing that like multiple assaults take place. People have to get kicked out. This guy's just there to ruin your fucking show. You have to put up with that energy. Like they were obviously like, yo, this is not cool. I genuinely don't think he gives a fuck as long as he sells tickets at this point. I don't know what kind of energy he's running on. I mean, he did used to post videos every day, so we were always like, damn, he has a lot of energy. But not only did he film like a podcast or video right after the show ended, people were like still up front of the comedy club, he said. But then he started driving to Vegas. Because
why did he do that, Jessi?
Well, he elaborated on it later on. And the backstory, he says, is some random comedian that was there went up to him and was like, yo, come perform for Vegas tomorrow. I don't know if they came up to him or messaged him or something, but he was invited to Vegas.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah,
so
this
when
is
did that
brand
come
new
out?
information. This came out like yesterday.
Okay, I've been sick and kind of offline for 2 days, so
oh, girl,
I'm
don't worry,
not
I got the
fully
scoop.
clued in. But basically, he had posted a video on Twitter the day after, and it was like, I drove straight to Vegas, and he shows that he's in his hotel room. He like pans and shows the view, which definitely looks like Vegas, and he tells everyone through this video that he's going to be performing at the Vegas Comedy, is it the Comedy Club?
LA Comedy Club is what it's called.
LA Comedy Club, sorry, yes. Along with announcing this, he links to an Eventbrite that has tickets. So a couple things here is, one, the flyer looked interesting. The photoshopping, it was like him with his 2 mics. That was a screenshot definitely from the show that night before. Then also, apparently the LA Comedy Club place doesn't use Eventbrite to sell their tickets. So that was already sketchy. Then Dennis claims eventually that it was canceled because 300, that's an actual number he used, 300 incels had called to like cause trouble and like threaten the club and stuff and get them to not do it, which makes no sense because you come to find that there was only like 2 or 3 phone calls that took place and none of them were from a threatening standpoint. They were just saying, hi, I just wanted to call. Supposedly tonight you guys have this comedian performing. The people on the phone have no idea who Dennis is. They've never heard of him.
LA Comedy Club.
Yo, what's up? So I'm calling to ask if I heard this guy Dennis Feitosa was performing tonight at 11:30, but I clicked on the Eventbrite link to buy tickets and it says the event is unavailable.
Yeah, he's not performing. I've never heard of the guy.
You've never heard of the guy? That's weird because he's claiming on his social media account with 100,000 followers that he was performing tonight. He's been hyping up this event and tweeting out tickets and stuff, so I'm just a little confused.
Yeah, I'm confused myself. I've gotten like 2 calls about this guy. I've never heard of him. We have sometimes comics show up to my club expecting what we call a guest spot, which is like a quick little 5-minute like audition or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he assumed he's doing that. I don't know. I've never heard of the guy, so.
Wow, it's fucking crazy, man. All right, well, thanks for letting me know at least.
All right, no problem.
So basically Dennis like lied about all of this.
But
now
there's
he's coming out and claiming that someone did invite him.
So he claims that this random guy comedian invited him to do this show, this lineup with him. So the person that was like listed on the flyer supposedly invited him.
That's like not a thing you can do, I don't think.
Well, Steven in the podcast is like, right away, that doesn't make any sense. Like he straight up just says like, that doesn't even happen in this industry. Yeah. He was like telling him like, no, like I told you right off the bat, don't do that. That's like weird as fuck.
From my perspective, we just had the show basically be burned down through trolls and like whatever the narrative online is going to be. But in the midst of the show ending, you come over to me and say, bro, I'm heading to Vegas. Yeah. And I'm like, huh? For what? I got a show. With who? This guy back here. Who is this guy? Yeah. I don't know. Hey, he came by last week. He wants to do the show. We're going to Vegas. I think it'd be a good look. I'm thinking no. Like, that's not even how comedy works.
If anything, I don't think this is an example of him lying. I think this is a perfect example of what like
just him being like
impulsive, like him just being so impulsive. It's just such a good example of him being impulsive, not thinking, and being a dumbass. But what happened was he said, you know what, fuck it, I'll go and do the lineup. So he started, showing the tickets and the Eventbrite stuff, whatever.
Did the guy give him the Eventbrite link? Like, where did that come from?
Yes, he says he didn't create it, the guy did. So then he says that he met up with the guy to like eat or something before, and then the guy started saying like weird things of like, yo, like the comedy club is feeling fishy about having you because of the things going on online, and that he started telling Dennis that and literally like gave him the runaround like 3 different times, and then was like, well, maybe you could do it on this day or that day or whatever. This is what Dennis claims. Dennis also says that he will refund anyone that bought a ticket, which is 0 people. So it does genuinely seem like this is what happened, but it's such an example of like, Dennis, can you think for 2 seconds? So he just
was like, anyone with a brain would have realized that that wasn't a thing.
Exactly. Well, Steven was like, I was telling you it wasn't a thing. And in this podcast yesterday, Dennis goes off about Tiana. He goes out, he's suing her. I mean, what? I know, you missed a lot. I was sending her like 1,000 text messages. I felt so bad, but I was like, girl, wake up. Shit's going down.
I genuinely, like, my brain couldn't even begin to understand, so I just didn't.
Yeah, he addresses the Tiana thing. He says he's going to sue her for slander and defamation. Love that. He was just going off about Tiana and saying like, oh, like she's so quiet, when she was here, and all of a sudden now she has this big personality for clout and whatever. It was like this whole thing. And she responded, and now she's calling him an old man. It's like a whole thing.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in the next episode because holy shit, I need to watch those and catch up.
It's still unraveling, but he addresses everything. Like almost every question we have about like Salvos and like why he didn't let him in the green room and why he didn't do this, he was just going on and on and on. And what was very interesting is Steven was literally like not having it.
Good, finally.
It was so frustrating because he would just start interrupting Steven and wouldn't let him talk when Steven would start like saying anything contrary to what he was saying. And it was really frustrating because that's why Dennis has the people around him that he has. He just needs people to tell him yes. And that's how he's ended up where he's ended up. But it is a frustrating watch.
Even just what I said earlier, I'm like, what's his end goal? What's the plan here? Like, this isn't going to last forever.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Everything he does is I'm so tired. I feel like I went through a marathon with this video, honestly.
It's like every time you think everything's kind of like wrapping up, then it just ramps up yet again.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this Lovely recap of the Super Roast Battles 2.
Honestly, I think it just gave me anxiety.
Thank you, Lily, for coming back on, even though you're deathly ill.
Thank you. I am bouncing back, I think, so hopefully we'll be good moving forward so we can keep talking about this dumpster fire that will not extinguish.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.
Bye.